Hey there, guys, music fan again. We're gonna go through a quick track by track review of How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb by U2. Let's go straight into this. First track, Vertigo. I love this song. What else can I say? This is the famous track off this album. Of course, you all know the iPod commercial that this song is associated with. This song is probably the closest aspect that this album ever gets to its original idea, which was going to be a punk-esque infused record at the time when U2 was first conceiving this album. I love this track, I really do. The Spanish chants and the chorus, hello, hello, hola, I'm at a place called Vertigo, donde están? It's awesome track, and interesting thing to note that the channels are very similar to, maybe if you listen to the Doors or bands from the 60s. They didn't have the technological sophistication. They had like maybe the drum and the bass on one side of the ear and the guitar on another. It's a very similar take on the mix of this particular track, which I find interesting. And yeah, that's an interesting thing about Vertigo. Love it. Two, Miracle Drug. I think this track was written for, I don't remember this person's name, but it was a name of a particular person who was paralyzed except his, I think it was his eye or his hand or something. I don't remember, but he was paralyzed, and he used the only limb that he had freed to write a really great selling novel, and he's really, ironically, I don't know his name, but this song is about him, and it's about the miracle of medical science, and how science and medicine can really prove to create life-saving drugs and life-saving medical advances in technology to save human lives. And this song is really close in the sense of Bono's impassioned yearning to help those people in Africa and all over the world stricken with the HIV virus. And this song is a very beautiful song. Like, I really definitely love this track. In the beginning, it almost feels like a person breathing, or if you look at it from another angle, someone smoking something. I don't know. It kind of lends to this very druggy atmosphere, but it's not in a negative, bad sense. This is not ASAP Rocky thing or whatever, but it's nothing like that. But it's a track that still is reminiscent of that. It's not a druggy kind of song, but it's a song that is really more harmonious and melody driven. And this is a track that I certainly love. I really like a lot. Sometimes you can't make it on your own. A track I love. This song, I love this song. Of course, this song is about Bono's relationship between him and his father, Bob Hewson, who passed away, who unfortunately died around the Elevation Tour 2001. And this track was Bono kind of coming to terms with the grief of losing his father, and this track is just simply emotional. Like, I mean, the way that Edge has a very light touch on the guitar chords in this song, and the way that the middle eight hits that epic crescendo of Bono just letting this ginormous wail of emotion in the middle eight of this particular song is just impacting. It really hits you right here. Yeah, that's all I have to say about Sometimes You Can't Make It on Your Own. Fantastic track. I love it. Love and Peace or Else. I believe this is one song that was written during the pop sessions. I think that might be it, but it was brought back for this particular album. And as far as I know, this track was written about, I think, Iraq in mind, but then it got changed into something a little more sentimentally romantic. Well, not that this song is romantic, but you can look at it from those two angles. This is a track that is just slightly electronic, but it's not really overtly so. It's very subtle, but it's still kind of a rockish tune. It reminds me of folk rock in a way, but there's no acoustic guitars here. Again, it's the same vein as in tracks like Peace on Earth or Please. Really very similar in that regard, lyrically speaking. That's why I think, of Love and Peace or Else. City of Blinding Lights, love this track. I really, really do. Of course, this is now associated with Barack Obama, but another thing I always think about this track is, well, cities, more specifically New York. I think this track was written with New York in mind. And it's a fantastic track with a fantastic chorus. In the chorus, oh, you look so beautiful tonight. The one thing I have to mention is that when I first heard this song around 2004, 2005, I hated it. I really despised the way this song sounded. I really hated the way the chorus was. I really disliked this song when I first heard it. But then over the years, I gradually warmed up to this song, and I now end up really liking it. I mean, this is the closest the band will ever get to Another Streets Have No Name, like in terms of the build up in the intro, the way it happens. It just keeps building up as it goes along, and the same thing with that epic crescendo in the chorus, the way that happens, and the closest they'll ever get to Another Streets with this song. All because of you. This track is awesome because the way Edge's guitar sounds, it sounds very tough and sounds really not necessarily in your face, but still retains a lot of that melody. When I was talking about in my review that I wish that the band would have struck a balance between the tough aggression of Edge's guitar and melody driven harmonies, like this track is an example of that idea, along with Vertigo. I really wish that the rest of this album would have sounded like this, but for what it is, I like this track because it rocks. I love it. All Because of You has I love the way Edge's guitar tone sounds on this particular song, and it's epic. It's awesome. A Man and a Woman. This track is reminiscent of Wild Honey from All That You Can't Leave Behind, except it's more band driven this time around, but it still is no less tender as a result of it. Like, the acoustic guitars sound so tender when they first come in, when they first play with this particular song. It's so sweet sounding. That's what I can use. It sounds very sweet and tender with this particular track. I really definitely like it. Crumbs from Your Table. I've mentioned this in my original review, but I don't like this song that much. It still has that sense of rock and melody to it. Don't get me wrong, but it's just something in the way that U2 melds those two extremes with this particular song that just kind of turns me off a little bit. I don't know why. Probably maybe the way that the melody sounds, or the way Edge plays those chords, which are great, which are really good, by the way, but I don't know what it is about this song, but I can listen to it and say, okay, that was cool, but it's a song that I really don't warm up to all that much. I don't know why. One Step Closer. This is kind of like space country sounding song. Has a bit of a really ambient synth going on in the beginning part of the song, and really has this really interesting spacey slide guitar going on. It's not a country western song, but it's a song that is really minimal in a way, and Bono's lyrical writing here is very image driven. Like I'm on an island in a busy intersection. I can't see the future. It's getting away from me. I just watch the daylights go glowing. I think that's the name of the lyric. Glowing, go away. I think, I don't know. But the lyric, I mean, the chorus of the lyric here is a chorus inspired by Noel Gallagher of Oasis. That I think Bono was talking with him about his father, Bono's father, and the chorus was Noel Gallagher's reply to that. Interesting song, which I really like. Original of the Species. Of course, this is a love ballad, of course, and the original is good, but me personally, I prefer the single mix of that of the version of this particular track. It's another favorite of mine here on this particular album. I really like it. I love just how the lyrics are. I love how the band performs this. I mean, like especially in the single mix, which is far more dynamic driven than the original one. But the original one still holds up well. And lastly, we have Yahweh. Really is the track that kind of ends this off in a very yearning kind of personal note, and I really like the way that Bono's vocal performance is on this track. He really sings in the most passionate of ways, and this track really ends this album off on a very surging and really fantastic way. And even though as a whole this album may not speak to me all that well like the other albums do, this is an album that I still like. And Yahweh brings everything to a really great emotional end, and it's really cool. Yeah, this has been a track by track review, maybe my shortest one yet. Leave your comments on the comment section below, tell me what you think. And yeah, it's been a track by track review. You too. How to dismantle an atomic bomb, and see you next time. Take care.